in Taiwan. You're saying we get perks.
There's perks.
I know.
There's perks.
There's perks, yeah.
For sure, without a doubt.
What are some of the perks? Yeah, tell me a little bit about.
You just.
It's episode 271. I'm here with Teddy Lai.
Hi.
What's up, brother?
What's going on?
Thanks
Good
for
to be
coming,
here.
man. I went through a lot of your stuff, and you've been blowing up, man. What's kind of like a secret, your secret to success for blowing up?
I think a combination of luck, that's definitely a big thing, and then also just combining what you're good at into something that seems authentic. I have a background in writing and in journalism, so I kind of was able to channel all of these things. Like, I know Chinese.
Yep.
I like to interview people. I've been interviewing people since college. And kind of channeling all these little bits and then putting it out there, and then people seem to resonate with it.
Okay.
So that would be my biggest advice, is like try to know what your strengths are and then be able to present them to the audience. And, you know, it helps being a foreigner in Taiwan that speaks Chinese, I'm not going to lie. The thing that I spent most of my life as an adult trying to get good at was learning Chinese and learning writing. And those skills have helped me been able to like shoot and produce and edit videos that seem coherent to people.
Do you find that videos in Chinese perform better?
For sure.
Really? Okay.
It's whatever can really connect with the audience. And it doesn't have to be all in Chinese, but if the foreigner that I interview or the person that looks like a foreigner that's Taiwanese speaks any kind of level of Chinese, they're like, oh, this person is like invested in the culture. They're invested in Taiwan.
In Taiwan, you go from, Canada, US, like North America, where there's, you're a Mexican Canadian, or you're an Asian American, or whatever, an Irish American, to Taiwan, where you're just a foreigner. Tell me a little about that.
I mean, it kind of goes in different stages. Like, I think at first it's kind of fun. You're like, oh, like, 外国人, oh, this is kind of cool. Yeah, like, you're different, you're kind of special.
Yeah.
But I think at a certain point, I'm like, I wish everyone would just forget that, but then I still get all the benefits of being 外国人.
Okay.
That would be nice, because there are certain perks.
For sure.
You can't say no about that. And I think, like, in terms of being able to have such a following on YouTube, it's like people are interested in what foreigners are doing here, because there aren't as many of us as, Han Taiwanese people. So they're like, oh, why are you here? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And because I have access to all these other foreigners that I've met over the years, people are just curious. So that's definitely an advantage.
How important do you think speaking Chinese is to being a foreigner in Taiwan?
It really depends on what you're trying to do. I think in Taipei, in 2024, you can definitely get by without Chinese now. Yeah. And in some weird ways, I think foreigners are rewarded for speaking English if you're a native English speaker.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You can get a high-paid jobs teaching English, some sort of like editing or writing job, any kind of like English communication, and then there's the incentive of dating as well. Like, some Taiwanese women are interested in foreigners to have like a cultural experience, and part of that cultural experience is learning English and practicing English. So it's the incentives are there to speak English. So I can understand why people would not want to make the effort, which it takes a lot of effort to learn Chinese. If you have other things you're doing and you're like, well, I have this hot girlfriend and I have a high-paying job, so why would I do that? But that being said, if you're here for a long time and you want to do anything else outside of like...
Aside from maybe teaching English or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need it.
How much more of the culture do you learn if you speak?
You can't even compare.
Okay.
So like if you really want to have any kind of understanding of what Taiwan actually is, a certain image of what Taiwan is that's curated through the lens of people speaking English to them. Do you like stinky tofu? Oh, like we're all super friendly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, yes, Taiwanese people are lovely, but Taiwanese people are, they yell at people, they get impatient. They're kind, but when you speak the language and they interact with you in their own language, it's different. They're not as like outwardly friendly in a weird, fake way. They have an agenda if they're speaking to you in English.
Yeah.
and I might sound cynical, but like this is just strangers.
My daughter's, half Taiwanese, half Mexican Canadian, right?
Yeah.
And she speaks, perfect Chinese and perfect English. When she sees people, say, "Oh, 外国人," to me, she was really little. She'd be like, "No, that's not a 外国人. That's my dad."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of crazy, right?
No, that's okay. That articulates it really well. When people are like, "Well, you are a 外国人," and it's like, yes, I am, but I'm also many other things.
Yes.
My name's Ted. I'm from America. I make YouTube videos. I'd like to think I'm a nice guy. There's many other facets to me besides just 外国人.
Just being 外国人.
Are Taiwanese people friendly?
Are they friendly?
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to talk about that, yeah. I feel that they are friendly, but there's definitely like an underlying tone.
Are they friendly to each other?
To each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday I was in Costco and I was digging through some boxes, and this older Taiwanese guy, he's like behind this fence and he's trying to grab a box, and he's like, "Oh, 给我这个就好了." And I'm just like,
see, that's what I mean.
I'm like, here you go, man.
If they treat you like everyone else, it's like very direct in certain ways.
And he didn't even look at me. He was just like,
just expected it.
And it's not like I had a Costco uniform on. And I was like, oh, interesting.
Certain bluntness, and it still kind of is strange when like I'll go into a convenience store, and if I don't say anything, they'll just like they won't say anything. And like I've had, I don't know, this might have gotten worse since COVID and afterwards, but like sometimes there'll be no interaction with the cashier. It's just like, here's money, go. And some people will even listen to headphones. I'm like, where is this going? Where's our humanity?
Dating in Taiwan, you're saying we get perks.
There's perks.
What's some of the perks? I mean,
you just stand out.
Yeah.
You just stand out more. So like, I actually just started using dating apps.
Nice.
Because Andrew Heimerl, he's always like pushing me to go on it. And I feel like, if someone's just swiping through and then like they get to someone that's a foreigner, it's like, oh, that person's different, stands out.
Yeah.
And then I think a lot of younger Taiwanese women, they have like the fantasy of, if I'm with this foreign guy, maybe I'll be able to go travel with
mixed
them.
Kids.
That's huge.
Mixed kids are huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
I was on a date the other day and the woman's like, oh, like 我要生外国宝宝.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it's mixed.
混血, right?
She said 外国.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's interesting that you think 混血 is 外国, but okay, whatever. But yeah, that's like every woman that I've dated.
They want that mixed baby.
They want that mixed baby. They want mixed babies.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, like my friends, they're all telling me that we should have kids. The kids would be so cute.
Be tall and white and blue eyes. Yeah.
Somehow have blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that. Certain women that are just like very interested in foreigners. And then there's only a certain number of foreigners in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So the pool is in your favor.
Yeah.
Just numerically.
The odds are in your favor,
the odds
right?
are in your favor. Yeah, just kind of
that,
like a cold scientific way of looking at it. It's just skewed. The women that actually I think are interested in foreigners now that I'm in my 30s are different. It's like all the women that have been abroad for a while and now they're back and they kind of want to like keep that foreignness.
Okay.
Somehow.
And mixed babies.
That's just they want mixed babies.
You got mixed babies,
That's
man.
all they want.
Yeah. When you're around, like it happens to me all the time, and my daughter, who's mixed, she's always like weirded out by it. Taiwanese people from high school to adult, we can be at a grocery store or whatever. When they see us, Taiwanese people speak to each other in English.
Yeah.
Like they'll just switch to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my daughter's
flex.
like, what?
So that's actually a thing.
That's a thing.
Because if your daughter thinks it's weird, it's not happening around her. My biggest pet peeve about living here.
Oh, tell me about that.
Oh, God, juicy.
Juicy, baby.
I told myself before this I wasn't going to complain.
You weren't going to come on that?
I wasn't going to complain about it.
Cool,
I guess
man.
in an honest way, it's like, it makes me doubt my own ability. I'm like, did I say it not clearly?
Okay.
Am I not saying it confidently enough? Like, why is it that this person wants to speak back to me in English? I start doubting my own ability.
Okay.
That's what I think bothers me. Who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
That guy's name is Andrew Heimerl. Andrew Neff.
Actually.
Yeah. I met him. I was seeing a woman.
Okay.
And we were kind of in this like ambiguous, kids call it a situationship these days.
Okay.
So, I was seeing other people. She was too. But then it was kind of like getting more and more committed. So as we were getting towards that phase, she had told me that she met her neighbor. Neighbor was walking the dog. And I'm like, I don't like where this is going. But she's telling me the story. She's like, yeah, I ran into this other foreigner. He's the neighbor guy. Yeah, and shy, of course. Shy. Yeah, okay, this is bad. And then she's like, yeah, and he was walking his dog. So then I had him like come up and play with my cats. I'm like, you invited this guy you didn't know into your apartment in the middle of the night to go hang out with your cats? Did you guys hook up? And she's like, yeah. Well, I can't really say anything because we're not like committed.
Yeah, that's a crazy situation.
It wasn't that pleasant, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know who this guy is. I have a picture in my head of what happened. So then we're hanging out. A couple weeks later, we're going to the convenience store, and then like we're riding, and then we run into this.
There you go. There he is.
Put the picture back up.
Handsome fella.
Yeah, the handsome guy. And with his amazing head of hair.
Yeah,
so he,
it
turned out to be him.
When, like, I've been following you for a while, and your stuff's been blowing up, right? And check this out. I was on the MRT.
Nice.
I was on the MRT.
There it is.
And
with Tony.
Random Taiwanese lady was watching your interview with Tony.
There you go.
And I was like, that is amazing. And so
I haven't seen that yet, but that's cool.
I'm showing it to you right now,
yeah,
which is
awesome.
amazing.
It's dope.
Right? Because that's like, yes, I made it.
That's who's watching my video.
Taiwanese lady, she was glued to yours and Tony's interview.
Yeah.
Glued.
Well, Tony is a charismatic guy that speaks amazing Chinese.
If I was to ask you top 3 tips for being a 外国人 YouTuber in Taiwan and having your channel go viral.
What would be the 3 things?
Yeah.
I think the first thing, like I was saying before, like take stock of your strengths.
Okay.
Know what you're good at. Know what your background is. Like, are you interested in history? Are you interested in like tech? Are you funny? Are you just like handsome or pretty? Know what makes you stand out, and then find a way to like deliver that.
Number 1, double down on your strengths.
Double down on your strengths.
Beautiful.
Okay. 2, try to understand like what makes your content different. Yeah. Everyone likes praise.
Okay.
Have a little bit of that in there.
Sure. That's important.
But be authentic about it.
Yeah.
And then try to do something that no one's ever seen before.
Thank you guys for watching the podcast. Subscribe to Teddy Live.